Hello, I'm Alex.
I'm Tracy.
Happy Solstice. We're coming together today in advance of our fundraising Solstice class. We felt it was really worthwhile to acknowledge and just tap in a little bit to the meaning behind the winter solstice, why it's so important to us, why we're doing a fundraising event on the day of, and also suggesting two poses, two of our faves, I think, that might really help with just, if you can't join us on the 21st online or in person, something you can do privately on your own if you choose to. And really just sinking deep into this time of year. We're coming up now, what is today, the 15th?
Yeah.
So we are just shy of a week from the darkest day of the year, where we sit in that darkness and welcome in the light. And it's a time of perhaps deep contemplation for some, being in the darkness, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No.
I think it's a time of remembrance, a time of incubation, a time of growth, to really plant some amazing seeds to take into the holiday season and into our coming up calendar new year.
And it's a time of reflection, right? It's like this moment, this pause in between the days getting shorter, and then the days will start getting longer. And then we have a moment to just evaluate, how have we been feeling this year? What's affected our lives? What might we have power over to change if we aren't happy with how things have been? Maybe we want to reflect on something that we'd like to do a little differently going forward.
For sure. And also ceremonially, and that's not something we're going to be able to do on the 21st at our event, but you could do privately on your own, is I love the idea of writing down on a piece of paper things that you might want to let go of, anything that you perhaps no longer serves you, and allowing that to be put into a fire, whether that be your wood stove or just lighting a candle and safely, letting it burn off into the sink, just to let yourself melt away and let go of the things that don't serve you anymore. And then write down a beautiful intention for where you want to go into the new year.
And really taking the time to do a ritual is important, even if it's just 10 minutes, right? So that you're really contemplating, what do you want to let go of consciously, actively,
right.
And then opening your space up, your energetic body for something more beautiful to come in.
Exactly. And we were just noticing before we started the video that Tracy's super wearing dark and I'm wearing light, and that was completely coincidental.
Yeah, we didn't plan that.
But on that note, though, that darkness and light, it's not about good or bad. The darkness is crucial. You have to have that yin yang balance. There has to be the darkness with the light coming in, and the light with the darkness coming in. And if you even look at a yin yang symbol, you see that little dot in each, with that, so that it's acknowledging that that's the balance of our entire existence in our life. And I'm always bolstered by, in our darkest times, wherever that might be, and it could just be going in and incubating and hibernating could be part of the darkness ritual, that you can always illuminate a dark room with a match or a candle. But it's difficult to take darkness and bring it into an illuminated room. So knowing that, even though darkness is crucial, it does not have to be all-encompassing darkness, and that it's nothing to fear, and it's actually something that's pretty much part of a balanced existence. And in this time of incubation and contemplation, so important to, in keeping with the darkness, and the darkness really serves this practice, is getting enough sleep and rest. That it's nature's way of saying, this is your time to quiet down, hibernate, go within, and then burst forth with that beautiful light. And that can be, once again, carried into the holiday season and well into the new year. And I'm like, yay, the light is back, and we can move closer towards the sun. And I just got to shiver with that. I feel like that there's just something really beautifully symbiotic about that idea of honoring that light, but also being in the dark and allowing yourself, because without the darkness, the light doesn't really have any juice or purpose. You have to have those polarities and extremes for the meaning of it all to really gel and come together.
And we can take a clue from nature, right? Because nature, not just the sun getting dark, not just the shorter days, but also things are hibernating, right? The land has gone cold and fallow, and the seeds, if you have anything planted, it's waiting, right? It's waiting for the sun to come back. And so it's our time too to to just rest and recover from maybe a busy summer or busy fall, whatever it is. This is our time to enjoy, right? Enjoy, let the darkness come in, light a candle, take a warm bath. And don't be, like do this with friends if you have an opportunity to like do this ritual with a few friends. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to do. I do it myself and have done it over the years of just letting go of something. And you just feel lighter.
Absolutely.
And the light is coming. So.
And that actually is a wonderful segue with your comment on being part of the natural cycle. Beautiful segue for the pose that I'd like to share.
Great.
And then we're going to follow with one of Tracy's favorite poses that you can also take into a little solstice practice for this year or anytime. I'm going to slip off my bolster and I'm just going to share with you. It's still, I guess it's up there, not just for solstice. It's always been one of my favorite poses. So I think the easiest way to get into this pose is to start with your hands planted in front. So perhaps starting in a table pose. And then with you can do this for both sides, but let's just bring that right knee forward and cross that right knee over the front of your left knee. You can wiggle up a little bit and then ease back with your hands supporting. Just lower down and sink between the feet. And we'll just start with join me.
I'll do the other side.
Yeah, that's great. So place our hands perhaps on the soles of our feet. And I'd like you to just focus in on the root and just sink it deep and ground it. And that root, sort of symbolic of the earth and the darkness itself, going right in there and dropping down, keeping a nice balance on the sit bones. And close your eyes. Just hang here and feel that perhaps sensation coming over your hip. Both hips, but perhaps feeling a little more on the side of the leg that's crossed over. And with this, you might even want to take a little bow, a little honoring as we sink it forward. Drop the heart straight into that bent knee, that knee on top, and just roll in with the shoulders and curve your back. And slow and gentle, we can curl it back up. You can play with this a little bit and maybe do a little reaching up and a sliding to one side. So you're opening up through that right side body, which feels wonderful. Intensify that sensation in the hip. Ease back, and you can even take it over to the opposite side. Like clapping hands. Nice. And then back again. And then let's finish off. This is where the cycle of nature and energy and you come into it. Let's bring that left hand over the bent knee or the knee opposite to you and then cross over so that that right hand just lays on top. And we're just going to drop our shoulders and relax. Close your eyes. And there's a little bit of imagery coming in with just a pulling up from the deep, dark depth of the earth, straight into your root chakra. And let it elevate up and burst forth into your heart, that heart light. Let it shine out and radiate. Down from that heart, let's move that light and energy through our arms, out through our fingertips, sending it back down to the dark depth of the earth. So let yourself be the cycle. You are part of the natural cycle. And in this solstice, this winter solstice, remembering, going dark, going deep, retrieving the treasures of that darkness and depth of the earth. And let it burst forth into your heart, radiating open. Share it with the world, let it go, and always returning back. No beginning, no end. Just a natural flow and rhythm. Just be in that space. Just hands to heart. Gratitude and love for yourself and all mankind in this world we are in. Don't forget to share your love and gratitude.
Love you.
Gratitude. Thank you.
And from that same energy of nature and taking that time inside, we're just going to take a forward fold, just a really basic forward fold. So legs can be out in front of you. together or wide apart?
I'll do the wide apart.
Okay,
and we can
great.
do together,
Yeah.
so we can sort of
So
display it.
and it's really just letting this be a really yin-y, a really heavy and relaxed forward fold, not yang. Yang is summer and heat, and this is cooling and going inward.
Yeah.
So you can use a bolster or pillow and just let yourself drape forward. Nice. So notice here, this is another way to practice releasing. Notice where you're holding in the body, in the hips or the legs. Just let your feet drop out. If you're feeling any energy there, soften your low back and hips, releasing the weight of your head. And just noticing your breath. This takes the awareness inside. And you can come into this pose and reflect here on whatever we might want to let go of emotionally, or physically, and use this as a tool to help you connect a little deeper. And easing up, hopefully feeling a little renewed and open to what comes next.
And what does come next at Blockhouse Yoga is our Solstice event on the 21st. And if we haven't already mentioned it at the beginning, I don't think we did. It's 100% fundraiser for our local food banks. Yet again, another example of sending out the heart light and the love and the support to people in need. And with the $20 donation, which is the minimum donation to either attend our class in person or online, we'll provide a link for both signups here or doing it online. You'll be receiving 5 ballots, which will go into a draw for a beautiful gift basket that we've collected with products that I make, products that Tracy makes, and 2 passes, 1 online and 1 in person. Those were 10 class passes. So that's our gift to you. So you have a chance to win. You have a chance to participate in a really yummy, wonderful co-taught class with Tracy and I on the 21st. It'll be at 5:30.
5:30.
It'll be good and dark with lots of candles, lots of love, lots of sharing. And super excited to co-teach with Tracy again this year. I always love co-teaching.
We have a good time co-teaching with her. We have a good time. So we hope you'll join us.
So yeah, and just use these poses leading up to that, in lieu of that if you're not able to make it, and perhaps a nice little holiday gift for everyone post-class, which we will be announcing and sending out following our Solstice event. So please keep checking in, and we'll be letting you know what's going on in the next few weeks. But that's a big one that we'd love for you to participate in.
Blockhouse.yoga.com is where you can donate, or you can send an email to us at hello@blockhouse.yoga.com. All right.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Namaste and happy solstice.
Happy solstice.